I am glad it's over. I think Manitobans are breathing a sigh of relief too. Now we can get back to the business that matters to Manitobans instead of watching this curious infighting.
What does the outcome say to you?
How
it broke down? And
what it says to me is that if you want real change, you don't go to the NDP. The outcome wasn't, I said at the outset that the sad part of this process was 99% of Manitobans wouldn't get any say in it. What I didn't know was that 99% of NDP delegates wouldn't get any say either. You know, the outcome wasn't determined by NDP delegates. It was determined by 3 union boss leaders in a back room the week before.
How do you explain that one?
Well, because the fact of the matter is that the Premier of Manitoba is now the Premier because he cut deals with public sector union bosses in a back room last week, and he guaranteed himself the support of CUPE and the support of the United Food and Commercial Workers, and he somehow managed to get the firefighters to support him. And he did that with taxpayers' money, and he needs to come clean on what he promised those groups, because those are union boss leaders who, quite rightly, are fighting for the best interests of their members, and they would have directed their votes to go in support of Premier Selinger for a reason. Same work that we would have undertaken, that we've been undertaking, we're going to continue to undertake, regardless of who the leader is. We think that the appetite for change is real, and we believe that Manitobans want change, and they know now that they're just simply not going to get it from this organization and from these people.
But some pollsters were saying that you're going to have a tougher, you would have had a tougher time against Theresa Oswald than Greg Selinger. Do you feel like you have an easier route to a win in 2016 now?
I think every one of the candidates was an old guard NDPer, and they would have all had to run on the record of the government. And the record of the government's a deplorable record. I mean, we're 9th in the country on economic growth over the last 5 years. We lead the country in tax hikes. We have the lowest performing educational outcomes. We have the longest health care waiting lists. And the list goes on and on. Poverty is not being addressed. So each of these candidates has that record of failure. And this government has a record of failure too. You know, the NDP members, I feel sorry for, because it actually, I don't think, came down to their vote as much as it did special deals in backrooms. And I think that's just a shame.